What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report. And let me tell you, today we have some big Xbox news to break down. Of course, X019 kicked off in London yesterday, the big end-of-year Xbox event that shows off the future of the brand itself. And we have talk about Project Scarlett, we've got talk about Project xCloud, and in addition to that, we have talk about Xbox Game Pass, big new IP from Obsidian and Rare, Halo Reach coming out on PC. It's a ton of news to break down, and man, am I excited to dive into it. But of course, if you are brand new to the show, this is hosted 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, to bring you the hottest gaming news every single weekday. So subscribe via the links down below. You can find it on YouTube, podcast services, and medium.com/jampackreport. But with that being said, without further ado, we've got some news to dive into. First off, Xbox chief says Project Scarlett will not be out of position on power or price. Microsoft is going head-to-head with the PlayStation 5. Microsoft is not going to repeat its mistakes from the Xbox One with its next-generation Xbox console. This, a quote from Phil Spencer. I would say a learning experience from the Xbox One generation is we will not be out of position on power or price, says Phil Spencer, Microsoft's head and gaming chief, in an interview with The Verge. If you remember the beginning of this generation, we were $100 more expensive, and yes, we were less powerful. And we started Project Scarlett with this leadership team in place with a goal of having market success. That market success will be key for Xbox after years of falling behind PlayStation sales and questions over its games lineup. Either way, Spencer thinks there are plenty of generations of Xbox ahead. Quote, we had the discussion years ago, do we want to go do another generation? Yes, and do we think there will be multiple generations ahead of us? I actually think there probably is, says Spencer. So we're going all in. We're all in on Project Scarlett, and I want to compete and I want to compete in the right ways, which is why we're focused on crossplay and backward compatibility. Microsoft revealed its Project Scarlett plans earlier this year at E3, and Sony has confirmed the PlayStation 5 will be available in holiday 2020. Microsoft's Project Scarlett console will support 8K gaming, frame rates of up to 120 FPS in games, ray tracing, and variable refresh rate support. Microsoft is also using an SSD on Project Scarlett and a custom-designed CPU based on AMD's Zen 2 and Radeon RDNA architecture. While we know the basics about Project Scarlett, Microsoft is not ready to say much more at X019. The author pressed Spencer several times on rumors about two consoles for the Project Scarlett release, which has since been debunked, by the way, and whether the lineup of Xbox One S, X, and, of course, Project Scarlett will be a lot of choices for console shoppers in 2020. Quote, we will talk about the SKU lineup and how it works, says Spencer. I think the root principle of we don't want to confuse people, we share that. Microsoft might not be ready to talk more about Scarlett, but the author also wanted to know where the company is heading in PC gaming. Spencer has admitted there is a lot to do for PC gaming in the past, and we have seen the company embrace Steam, introduce a new Xbox Game Bar on Windows 10, and launch Xbox Game Pass for PC. It still feels like there is so much more to do, though. And I'm sure many others, would love to see deeper integration with Xbox Live and Discord, but it seems like this is coming. Of course, the author said and asked Spencer whether he thinks there is a future where they can chat to an Xbox Live friend through Discord and vice versa. Yeah, I do think so, he says. I think it's more difficult because the voice codecs are different. It's not as easy as a phone system where everybody kind of is on the same back end. I think over time, it's a benefit to all of us. Just like how I think crossplay is important. Crosstalk, if you want to use that as a term, is something I think we should be focused on. I also wanted to get Spencer's thoughts on Xbox Game Pass coming to services like Google Stadia. Is it going to be available? He does want it to happen, but of course, there are some caveats to this. So we do want that Xbox experience to be available in other places. Yeah, we're doing xCloud and other things, but it would have to be a full experience, explained Spencer. That would mean not individual titles like Minecraft, Forza, or Halo appearing on Stadia, but it would have to be the ability to offer everything that's Xbox. It's hard to think about those things on platforms that are more closed than the at-scale open platforms of phones and PCs that are out there today, end quote. And so there is a lot to break down in this first article, but let's go ahead and tackle the headline here. The competition between Project Scarlett and PlayStation 5. Phil Spencer says they will not be out of position on power or price. This, for me, is very comforting because that's exactly what happened with the beginning of this console generation that we are currently in, and Spencer addresses that. Right off the bat, the marketing behind the Xbox One was a bit muddy. You had this kind of one-stop shop for all of your entertainment needs in the living room, as the main draw for Xbox One, while PlayStation threw themselves into games and said, look at how many unique IP we have here. Look at how many individual AAA games you can only play on PlayStation. And that has absolutely driven them through the roof for this generation, leaving Xbox in the dust to the point that they stopped reporting on how many consoles were actually sold. However, with this reaffirmation that you will not be out of position on power or price if you buy a Project Scarlett, that definitely makes it much more comforting to me to know that they are definitely focusing on the long haul here and saying, hey, we are here to compete, we are here to win, we are here to bring our A game, and that is very exciting. Now, the additional information here in the article, Discord integration, would love to see that on Xbox, would love to see that universally so, because Discord is pretty much the go-to communication service for a lot of people in the gaming community. And on top of that, those that just want to communicate on PC, it truly is a fantastic way to do so. If they can make backwards compatible games happen through emulation, surely there's some kind of translation you can have to make the codecs work with each other. I'm not an engineer, so I have no idea how that stuff works on the back end, but it seems like a couple of bells and whistles could be tweaked to make that a reality, and I would love to see that as well. On top of that, very interesting to see talk about the idea of Xbox Game Pass coming to other platforms like Google Stadia. Could that save Stadia? Because right now it doesn't look like it's going to have that much of a chance when it launches on, actually, yesterday. So that just goes to show just how much people are actually caring. Apparently Stadia, I believe, launched on November the 14th. That was a soft release, to say the least, but interesting to have the idea of Game Pass, and of course on top of that with other big Xbox IP being on non-Xbox hardware and non-Xbox projects. But regardless, it looks like Project Scarlett is coming to the table to win, coming to compete, and I, for one, am very excited about it. But if you'd have an Xbox console and you have Project Scarlett on the horizon, you definitely are going to want to have Xbox Game Pass, and you could join the ×2? I don't know how to say this. Anyways, the headline, Xbox Game Pass subscriptions have doubled as its library continues to grow. No specific figures have been shared, but let me tell you, there's a lot of people subscribing to Game Pass. Xbox head Phil Spencer says that subscribers for its subscription library, Xbox Game Pass, have doubled over the last year. A comment captured by industry analyst Piers Harding rolls ahead of today's X019 event. Spencer neglected to share specific numbers, but that's typically the case when it comes to subscriber numbers for Game Pass and recently all Xbox services. Microsoft notably stopped reporting Xbox Live active users earlier this year, but has always remained coy on specifics for Xbox Game Pass subscribers, outside of the occasional note that the service is doing well. The last year has seen Xbox make a number of moves to make Xbox Game Pass a more appealing service, including rolling it and Xbox Live into one slightly cheaper monthly fee. Today's X019 event is also, of course, full of news of... I'm sorry, I clicked away from the link. Of 20 notable titles coming to Game Pass, including 9 Final Fantasy games and a handful of recent Yakuza releases, which we'll talk more about in just a moment. And so this is a pretty big piece of news, in my opinion, because doubling the Xbox Game Pass subscribers over the course of a year is very impressive. And I think that is due in part to the fact that you do have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate hitting on PC as well as on console, and of course rolling Xbox Live into one for the low monthly price of $15. But on top of that, you also have a lot of value brought. And of course, there are many, many sales for the service itself. I signed on whenever I could get 2 months for $2, and I've kept it rolling because, quite frankly, it's a really good deal. Do I dive into the library as much as I would like? Absolutely not, but it is there. It makes me comfortable to know that I have games like The Outer Worlds, that I have games like Gears 5, that I have games like Outer Wilds there ready and waiting for me, with more coming down the pipe, which we'll talk about more in just a few moments. But I think that's kind of where a lot of people are. It's nice to have a giant existing library of games. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want to get into the base, bare necessities when it comes to a gaming console in 2019, you just need an Xbox One S, or even the Xbox One S All Digital, and the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, and you are good to go. I mean, really, there is so much value packed into that one subscription that it really is mind-blowing mind-blowing that it even is able to be a possibility in 2019. Of course, I have heard that Xbox Game Pass is dwarfed in terms of other services that are subscription-based in today's day and age, but I think it is worth noting that Game Pass is absolutely going to be a big foundational part of the Xbox brand going forward, especially with Project Scarlett and other projects coming in the future. But exciting to see, nonetheless, that Game Pass is growing, and I'm glad to see it. However, Project xCloud will also be getting some big Game Pass support on top of some big new features like being on PC in 2020 and the support for DualShock 4s. Wow! Microsoft's game streaming platform Project xCloud is coming to Windows 10 PCs in 2020, the company announced Thursday at X019 in London. The addition of a new platform is part of a major expansion for Project xCloud, which launched publicly in preview form for Android devices only in the US, UK, and Korea earlier this year. The first part of the expanded public test is the addition of more than 50 titles to the Project xCloud preview. The new list of games includes first-party games such as Crackdown 3, Halo Wars 2, Ori and the Blind Forest, and State of Decay 2, as well as third-party games Devil May Cry 5, Tekken 7, Madden NFL 20, Hitman Ark Survival Evolved, and Borderlands The Handsome Collection. Project xCloud players will be able to stream those Xbox One games to Windows PC next year, and Microsoft says it's, quote, collaborating with a broad set of partners to make game streaming available on other devices as well. Microsoft will also expand the input devices compatible with Project xCloud, naming Razer's Jungle Cat the dual-sided controller that makes mobile phones look like a Nintendo Switch, and DualShock 4s, of course, are going to be compatible as well. The game streaming platform will also expand geographically. Microsoft said it plans to roll out Project xCloud to Canada, India, Japan, and Western Europe in 2020. Finally, Microsoft said Project xCloud will support Xbox Game Pass for titles that appear on the company's game subscription service. Project xCloud was officially announced in 2018. The platform aims to bring game streaming to a variety of platforms via the cloud and eventually let users stream games from their own Xbox consoles to mobile phones, PCs, and other devices. I don't know why I can't say Project xCloud. It takes a lot of concentration for me to get that one out of my mouth. But there's a lot to break down here as well. So, of course, right off the bat, DualShock 4 support. That's a big one. On top of that, coming to PC in 2020, that's a very, very big one because that pretty much puts it on par with Google Stadia. And right off the bat, if you have over 50 games, you've got pretty much almost 5 times the amount of games that Google Stadia has. So Project xCloud, right out of the gate, is pretty much a Google Stadia killer because of the amount of compatibility, the amount of games, the amount of accessibility. It's just insane to see this one just come out of the woodwork and say, hey, remember Google Stadia? Yeah, how about you play all those games and more on ours? It's just insane to see. But on top of that, to have Game Pass integration, that brings a ton of value. I mean, literally, imagine being able to play any Game Pass game anywhere. Mobile phones, in a PC environment, on a console, wherever you want to play, there it is. Cross-play, cross-save, big deal. Very excited about that. On top of that, the compatibility with various gamepads is also very nice and user-friendly because some people like the DualShock 4 more than the Xbox One. I think if I was pressed to say, I am one of those people. But to have that compatibility is insane, and to have it spreading to other parts of the world is good to see as well. So 2020 is going to be a big year for streaming, without a doubt, and I'm excited to see how the competition begins to evolve because right now Stadia is pretty much the one-stop shop out there. Of course, you have PlayStation Now, which is beginning to gain a lot of traction, a bit of a different service, not really the streaming kind of experience you get from Stadia or what Project xCloud is shooting for with the streaming anywhere kind of idea, but still a competitor nonetheless. But times will evolve and we will see who comes out on top in terms of sales, in terms of subscribers, and in terms of, at the end of the day, game quality. But now, let's talk about some games, shall we? Rare unveils Everwild, a new exclusive game for Xbox and Windows 10. The Banjo-Kazooie creator is back with a new Microsoft exclusive. British video game developer Rare, creator of classics like Battletoads, GoldenEye 007, and Banjo-Kazooie, is revealing its next big game, Everwild, at Microsoft's X019 event today. I have no idea what GoldenEye is. But Rare is only providing a small glimpse at Everwild, but the brief trailer makes it look like it's going to be some type of action-adventure game. Banjo-Kazooie fans will have been hoping for a sequel or at least a new Banjo game, but Everwild looks like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The world is full of different species of animals, all with Rare's classic cartoon-style look and feel. Rare and Microsoft haven't revealed much more about the game, nor when it will be released. While Everwild is still early in development, we are very excited about the unique potential of the game we are creating, explains Rare Studio head Craig Duncan. The Everwild team is focused on building an experience that allows for new ways to play in a natural and magical world. Everwild will bring you a memorable, engaging, and meaningful experience for players everywhere to share. We cannot wait to share more with you in the future. Rare's previous Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive, Sea of Thieves, launched last year, and the team will continue to work on it and provide updates. It's fair to say it wasn't a smash hit, but it also wasn't a flop either. Sea of Thieves now has a dedicated community of players, but Rare is clearly keen to try something new with Everwild that's not necessarily as service-driven as Sea of Thieves. Very cool stuff here. So, of course, with Everwild, it kind of was something that took a lot of people by shock. And I'm glad to see that Rare is not working on Sea of Thieves 2, because I think that's very close-minded when it comes to the approach there. But if you look at Everwild, it clearly is something that we have not seen from this studio before. Gorgeous-looking game. For me, I'm getting a good blend of, as they said, Breath of the Wild, but on top of that, I am also getting a lot of kind of Ori and the Blind Forest at some points here. There's a lot of open world kind of feeling here, maybe some Assassin's Creed even, a little bit of Far Cry. I don't even know what this game is going to be. Of course, a lot of people are calling back to the anime Princess Mononoke, a classic anime from a legendary anime creator. And for those that don't know, that's a big compliment. Princess Mononoke is a pretty massive piece of art and a very respected movie and film in the world of animation. But I am very excited to see what Everwild ends up being. The big question is, will it be able to sell people on getting Game Pass, or sell people on getting an Xbox console, or subscribing to whatever service this one is going to be launching on? I'm excited to see actual gameplay, though. I'm confused as to what I'm going to be doing. Right now, I'm just hesitantly wandering through this beautiful wooded area with what appears to be some kind of deer with unfolding antlers. Very impressive looking stuff here. But really, again, I'm glad to see it's not Sea of Thieves. I'm just really thankful. Of course, they're still working on that game, but to have something new and unique and to have something beautiful like this, an art piece from the team at Rare, I think is something that's definitely new and something that I can definitely get behind. But it's cool to get a glimpse behind the curtain and see what exactly these Xbox game studios are beginning to work on. And then you get a peek behind the curtain and see what Obsidian's next game is, which is Grounded, an ant-sized survival game set in a suburban backyard. I don't even know where this came from, but I'm kind of glad that it exists. If The Outer Worlds has got you excited to play whatever Obsidian Entertainment's cooking up next, you won't have to wait too much longer. Its first-person survival title, Grounded, will arrive on Xbox Game Preview next spring. You'll endure the terrors and dangers of life in a suburban backyard, but it won't necessarily be all sun loungers and barbecues. Your character will be shrunk to the size of an ant. I'm getting some serious Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibes with this one. You will need to scavenge for objects to build a base, with scrounge for life-saving resources, and try to coexist with friendly insects while fending off giant beasts. Obsidian, which Microsoft bought last year, says Grounded is a sandbox title, though it will include environmental and narrative-driven storytelling elements. You can explore and try to stay alive by yourself or with up to 3 friends in co-op multiplayer. Grounded is the first Xbox Game Preview title that will be available with Xbox Game Pass, and you can also pick it up via the Microsoft Store or Steam as well. Very cool to see them embrace Steam. But, of course, again, whenever you think about Obsidian, you think about The Outer Worlds. You think about, of course, Fallout New Vegas. This, not one of those at all. This is a survival game, which is basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids the game, where you build a base in a suburban backyard. Of course, you can see a giant baseball, giant enormous trees the size of mountains, and tons of other areas to explore. You can go into ant caverns, you can fight off these giant, quote-unquote bugs, and you have to befriend the friendly ones to ensure your survival. I love the idea, and I think I'm approaching this one in the same kind of way that I'm approaching the Rare game. It's not what I would have expected from Obsidian, especially on the, heels of The Outer Worlds making waves around the entire industry. This is not a giant 100-hour RPG. This is something entirely new, and I think that's what Microsoft is trying to do with their Xbox Game Studios. They are trying to create brand new experiences that have not been seen, and quite frankly, cannot be seen anywhere else. And let me tell you, this is not something I've seen anywhere else at all. But very cool concept here. I'm digging it. And I also like the co-op idea. I think this could be a fun game for streamers to get into, at least for a little while. And ultimately, we will see what happens. But clearly, this has not been a long-standing project. This has not been in development for 10 years. I think this is something that probably came around the same time that talks began around Xbox acquiring them for the Xbox Game Studios brand. But nonetheless, excited to see what happens with Grounded, and again, launching on Xbox Game Pass in early access. Or you could always play Halo the Master Chief Collection with Halo Reach whenever that launches on December the 3rd on PC and, of course, on consoles as well. Microsoft and 343 Industries have revealed that Halo Reach will be added to Halo the Master Chief Collection on December the 3rd, 2019, and will be available on both Xbox One and PC. Halo Reach will be the only title initially available for Halo the Master Chief Collection on PC and can be purchased on either the Microsoft Store or Steam, but it will also be available on Xbox Game Pass for PC. All Halo games will eventually be added to PC one by one in chronological order. Those looking to secure the entire Halo experience on PC are able to purchase the item or pre-order upfront for $39.99. Halo the Master Chief Collection is out on Xbox Game Pass on Xbox One and PC, and all of Halo Reach will be free. For those who are not subscribers of Xbox Game Pass, Halo Reach's multiplayer will be free, but the campaign and firefight mode will need to be purchased. Halo the Master Chief Collection will support cross-progression, and while it is not planned for launch, cross-play is on 343 Industries' mind for the future. 343 has been preparing for this launch on PC for a while to ensure it doesn't run into the same issues that plagued the Xbox One release back in 2014. In addition, over 6.6 million custom maps and over 2 million custom game types from Halo 3, 4, and Reach will all be copied over to PC, making this the ultimate Halo experience. And man, this is very cool to see. Of course, this one has been a long time coming. People have been waiting very, very patiently, I suppose, for Halo Reach on PC because, again, it was announced months and months ago. And as a game that has some age to it, people kind of expected an immediate release, but that's not what they got, not in the slightest. Instead, they got a delay on top of a delay, and then at the end of the day, as long as the game is good, that's what it really comes down to. I want a solid Halo experience on PC, and of course, again, for $39.99, assuming you don't have Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can get access to every Halo game as they roll out on PC, with upgraded graphics, uncapped frame rates, giant resolutions, all of the goods you expect from the PC space, and of course, the multiplayer. Oh god, the multiplayer. It's going to be a good time. But if you did want to dive in, December the 3rd is the date for Halo Reach, just a couple of days away when you really think about it, and on top of that, coming out on consoles as well through the Master Chief Collection. But on top of that, there are tons of games coming to Xbox Game Pass, and man, there's a lot to break down here. Microsoft has announced 8 titles releasing today on Xbox Game Pass for PC and Xbox One. One is the impressive Remnant from the Ashes. During its Inside Xbox Live presentation at X019, it was announced that The Witcher 3 and more would also be added to the service. The Witcher 3 is not a surprise, considering an advertisement for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate revealed the news earlier today. It's slated for December and will feature all 16 free DLC. The full list of games available today through the service and coming to the service later is below. So, buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Here is what you can play today. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition on PC, a game to launch today. Age of Wonders Planetfall on console and coming soon to PC. Hearts of Iron 4 Cadet Edition. Lego The Ninjago movie video game. Rage 2 on console and PC. Remnant from the Ashes on console. The Talos Principle on console and PC. And Trax the Train Set game on console and PC. Now, these titles are going to be arriving this holiday and throughout 2020, so this is what's coming down the pipe. These are all on console and PC. Carrion, Chris Tales, Cyber Shadow, Darksiders 3, Double Kick Heroes, Drake Hollow, Edge of Eternity, Final Fantasy franchise including 7, 8 Remastered, 9, 10 HD, 10 2 HD, 12 The Zodiac Age, 13, 13 2, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, and of course Final Fantasy 15. Forager, Haven, It Lurks Below, Levelhead, Life is Strange 2 Episodes 4 and 5 are coming to console, My Friend Pedro on console and PC, Pandemic on PC, Pogs on console and PC, can I get some Pogs in the chat? She Dreams Elsewhere, console and PC, Skatebird, Street to Rage 4, Scourge Bringer, Superland, Tekken 7, Two Who Luna Knights, okay, The Escapist 2, The Red Lantern, The Red Strings Club, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on console, of course, Vambrits, Cold Soul, West of Dead, and the Yakuza franchise, including Zero, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. Did you get that? If you didn't, rewind for a minute. You'll get it again. Microsoft is also offering Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $1 right now for 3 months. That's a pretty great deal. Plus, for a limited time, all eligible Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members get 1 month of EA Access, 3 months of Discord Nitro, and 6 months of Spotify Premium included as part of their member benefits. Those perks are also available to all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members, and that is very exciting to say the least. So, this is, again, a fantastic deal, the amount of games coming, and on top of that, The Witcher 3 is the complete edition, which includes all 16 pieces of DLC, so that is a bundle in and of itself. Hundreds of hours of gameplay in that one. But again, Game Pass brings so much value on top of the fact that you do have all of these games coming out. You also have the fact that they have added Discord, Nitro, Spotify Premium, and EA Access as benefits to brand new subs. Again, 3 months for just $1. You get, again, 1 free month of EA Access, 3 months of Discord Nitro, and 6 free months of Spotify Premium. So you get your games, on top of that you get your communication, and on top of that you get your music. Mind-bogglingly good deal here, but if I did have to pick some highlights, I would recommend playing Rage 2 since it's included on the service. Played through it earlier this year. Not great, not bad, pretty in the middle of the road, but still worth playing. Remnant from the Ashes, a very good-looking little indie that came out this year. Very proud of that one. On top of that, I would say the Final Fantasy franchise is going to be a pretty big hit to see on the Game Pass service, and if I had to pick another one, I would say The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, without a doubt. But again, 3 months for $1, and on top of that, you get a ton of other perks, including Spotify, EA Access, and, in addition to that, Discord Nitro. But to round out today's show, we have a couple of, or at least one mention of a game, another big story. Tell Me Why is a new adventure game from the Life is Strange devs. Tell Me Why, out in full in summer 2020, is an episodic adventure game about twins and trauma. At the X019 fan event in London today, Microsoft rolled a trailer for a new game from Don't Nod Entertainment that looks a whole lot like Life is Strange. But it's not. It's a new game that appears to be in the same vein called Tell Me Why. You can watch the reveal video above. The YouTube description has a bit more detail. In this intimate thriller, twins Tyler and Allison use their special bond to unravel mysteries of their loving but troubled childhood. Set in beautiful small-town Alaska, Tell Me Why features true-to-life characters, mature themes, and gripping choices. The trailer ends by saying all chapters coming summer 2020, so it seems Tell Me Why is an episodic adventure just like Life is Strange. Unlike Life is Strange, though, it's not going to take more than a few months for the whole series to wrap up. And so, of course, Don't Nod, legendary storytellers without a doubt. I have heard this one also deals with transgender equality, stuff like that. But if you want to check out the trailer, it is up on the official Xbox page right now in celebration of X019. But again, Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, very good storytelling-based experiences. Some choices that you have to make that impact the overall game. Very cool stuff. And I'm excited to see what they come out with next. Of course, whenever I saw Tell Me Why, I kind of hoped that it was some kind of Backstreet Boys documentary. But it was not. It was the brand new game from Don't Nod Entertainment. But you could be watching a Fortnite streamer play all of these on Mixer. It's very unlikely, but it could happen. But Fortnite star Ewok is the latest Twitch streamer to be acquired by Mixer. And this will round out today's show. Yet another prominent streamer is leaving Twitch for Microsoft's Mixer. Solel FaZe Ewok Wheeler announced on Thursday that she will stream her upcoming Fortnite play sessions exclusively on the platform starting, quote, soon. After Tyler Ninja Blevins, Corey King Gathalia Michael, and Michael Shroud Greshik, Wheeler is the fourth high-profile streamer to jump ship from Twitch and Microsoft's most interesting talent acquisition to date. She is both the first girl of the group and, at only 14 years old, the youngest as well. Despite being deaf, she is also one of the top up-and-coming Fortnite pros. Let me repeat that. Despite being deaf, she can't hear. She is also one of the top up-and-coming Fortnite pros and recently joined the FaZe Clan esports team. She's nuts. Microsoft has not disclosed the terms of the switch, but it does show there's more to the company's strategy than simply signing on some of Twitch's biggest stars. Compared to Ninja's massive following of 14.7 million subs, Wheeler's channel only has some 284,000 followers, though to be fair, she had only streamed for a total of 70 hours on Twitch. Microsoft likely has more interesting defections in the works. I love this idea because, again, I'm very impressed with Ewok. She has done some incredible things to overcome, deafness to become one of the best esports competitors in the Fortnite space. Of course, she's not going to be, on the same level as YouTube's acquisition of Courage and Ninja's acquisition by Mixer. These are very different entities, but to be able to see them going deeper into the gaming culture and saying, okay, who is making some big moves? Who can we bring on to push accessibility? Who can we bring on to push diversity? A 14-year-old girl that is dominating the world and overcoming a hardship like being deaf. That seems like a pretty good person to have on your team, so I would want her on my team. And Mixer wanted them on hers. So if you were curious as to where FaZe Ewok was going, there's an entire announcement video on her, of course, official Twitter at Ewok, if you did want to check that out. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed this one, drop me a like down below. And of course, if you are brand new to the show, it's hosted 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So subscribe and follow for more. But until the next one, I will talk to you guys soon and enjoy your weekend.